Alrighty, folks, welcome to our first kind of mostly produced video of many videos to come, probably, of disc golf courses around NEPA. You've got Justin Phillips here. I'm right alongside Paul DeMarco. You'll be seeing both of us playing on this card, and I'm really excited for it to happen.
Yeah, excited to be here. Excited to get this cool coverage of our new home course and get it out there for you guys to check out.
So here we've got hole one at William B. Kresge Memorial Disc Golf Course, probably the most mouthful name of a course if you're actually going by the full name. It's a 260-foot par 3, kind of straight ahead with a bunch of tall stuff over to the left. So it is more of a righty hole, I would say, but it's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah, definitely spike hyzer is pretty common play here. I know I attack it with my FD3. There's Nick driving with his DX Rock 3. He definitely turned it over there.
Yeah, I don't think this was really the hottest round for any of us when we went through and made this whole thing, but
I would agree.
I'm throwing an Avenger SS as I do on just about everything at this point. And I gave myself a putt, to say the least. What is Nick throwing here? What does Nick putt with?
Nick putts with D-line P2s.
Like always, is that his go-to
He's been
putter?
From the start of playing disc golf, that's what he's with.
Awesome.
Here's me with a R Pro AVR. I like the stick and I like the straight flight of an AVR. Just couldn't quite lift that up there.
Yeah. How do you like that R Pro plastic?
It gets real soft in the heat of the summer, but as long as they stay in my bag, they're stiff enough that I can get a consistent flight. And really, I've tried some other plastics. I would say the Innova's next tackiest plastic would be XT, but my XT AVRs just don't give me the same spin.
Absolutely. So we all part out there, which brings us to hole 2, the 246-foot par 3. I personally think this is my favorite hole on the course. Just because of the aesthetic of it is really cool. You're going downhill and then uphill, so I guess that essentially plays as flat. I don't even know how that kind of works.
Yeah, this hole plays as flat for sure, but if you're short, it surely doesn't. You can find yourself in circle one, but with an uphill putt, almost as if it's a raised basket. The thing about that uphill putt and being like a raised basket, the putt isn't quite as punishing due to the backdrop behind you.
Yeah, exactly. And I know we've played with a lot of people here, too, that play this course for the first time. It's a short hole, but it's deceptively longer than it looks when you're standing on the tee pad.
I'd agree with that. But at the same time, it's a fun ace run. I've seen plenty of plenty of great ace runs on there. I've yet to hit it. I've actually chained out here one time, but
Nick had a good
I hope
putt
to hit it
there
at some point.
for his birdie, and I gave him the not slow as I'm going to call it. But,
yeah, that's a nice hit on the about 35 feet out on the uphill.
That's that uphill putt you were talking about. You parked it because you actually know what you're doing when it comes to disc golf, and I parked it on my second shot.
Yeah, got in for the 3.
Let's see. Yeah, moving right along, we're gonna go to hole 3 here. Hole 3 as we know it, which is a 285-foot par 3, which is really just kind of just a longer hole 1, as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
it's a longer hole 1, but at the same time, there's those trees on the right that kind of act as guardian trees for a spike hyzer.
Yes.
So I rarely see anybody able to take too much of a hyzer approach here.
Mm-hmm.
There is an option for an outer hyzer there on the right. You didn't see me or Nick take it. I know I attacked with my Rock 3 from the left, and Nick goes with a turnover fairway driver.
Yeah, because I'm usually using those trees on the right side. That last tree, especially up by the basket, I'm using that as my target.
Gotcha.
With that Avenger SS and hoping it dips a little bit to the left at the end. But sometimes I just like to grip lock it. A lot of times on this hole, actually, and end up over by that flagpole you can't even see anymore. Nick doing what Nick does there with that upshot, which that was a long upshot for him to have, actually.
Yeah, he usually throws this hole pretty well. He likes that stag from Westside Discs. He often gets a nice full flight out of it.
And Paul birdies again. I hit the basket, which is another reoccurring theme of this whole video. People.
That judge found the basket plenty of times.
Yes, that judge finds a lot of baskets there. And then I'm being weird there because I just heard the basket on Nick's 2-foot putt. and I thought he missed it,
Oh,
because I wasn't looking, which would have been fantastic. And then hole 4, we're finally getting to 300 feet here. You throw what is this, a Sexton Firebird?
yeah, I take a forehand with
Forehand?
the Sexton Firebird. Since then, I've actually switched to be throwing my flat top Firebird here to try to keep it a little lower. You can see right there, I hit the trees.
Mm-hmm.
I like the slight more stability of my flat top, which I did not have yet, I don't think, in this video.
Oh, okay.
To find a little, it kind of turns it down to make sure I keep it short of the basket and low enough.
And then I want to talk about what Nick does here too, because Nick takes that kind of shot you don't like to see off the tee pad on this hole down into the valley there that's over to the right.
Yeah, that's a rare miss by him. This is one of his most mastered holes, I would have to say.
Oh, really?
He just missed that turnover line.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing I was going to say too, though, is that down in that valley is not a bad shot.
No, if you're pin high in
By
the
any
valley,
means. Yeah.
you're finding yourself with 30, 40
It's better
foot
than what
run.
I just did, and throwing it straight into the ground, or throwing it into this creek that Gerard decided to get a B-roll for us of. So there's that. But are you pretty set on the forehand on this hole at this point?
Yeah, I've played around with turnovers with a fairway driver or something, and I like them as well. Right now, I think I'm kind of missing a spot in my bag for a super flippy fairway.
Mm.
So I definitely prefer forehand. So I would say that I don't really see myself turning away from that, at least for now.
And then here you go. You got a long putt here. I don't know how long that is per se, but
Yeah, I took a nice bit at it.
Those baskets that
There's
we
a
love so much.
there's a common theme with my jump putts, finding the basket and rarely finding the chains.
Finding
But
the outside of the basket, but not the inside of it. And then I've got a decently long putt for par here, and I do the same exact
once
thing.
again, there we are.
That's a little bit of the chain, and these baskets were just eating us alive. Also, like, just for the situational awareness of the people watching, we were recording this at, like 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I like playing disc golf at that time. I don't know if a lot of people like playing disc golf at that time, but it was early. It was a little wet. I took a bogey on 4, and then yeah, that's all she wrote. So what is it at this point? I think it's you're 2 under, Nick is 1 under, I'm 1 over.
Yeah, here I really liked my drive off the tee. Put it really close. That's
Yeah.
my Sexton Firebird again. Reliable disc that I know will glide out there and finish right.
Absolutely. I've finally just gone to the forehand on this hole myself, which you won't see here in a second. But I bought a Zeus,
Okay.
and I bought a G-Star Wraith that I lost already, and then I bought another one. And, but those two I can really forehand well. But for the sake of the video, I was going Star Sidewinder backhand, because I like the backhand on this hole if I really want to make sure I get a par.
Gotcha.
Usually.
Yeah, you can definitely par with a backhand here. At the same time, I have not seen too many birdies. It's a very, very touchy shot for a backhand to knock in the birdie. You really need to get it to flip up, fly straight, and almost turn over a little bit and hug those trees, and then not fade too much at the end.
Or we have seen, if you guys rewind back and look at the tee pad again a little bit, there's that line of trees on the right, but then you can go a good ways beyond that before you're out of bounds.
True.
It is possible to thread a backhand through there and then have it fade into the basket at the end, but that doesn't really happen unless you're Everett.
Right. Yeah. He's the one person who I've seen birdie this with the backhand
Right.
fairly consistently.
So
Besides that, shout out to Everett. Besides that, it's mostly a forehand hole if you're looking for the bird.
For sure. I did finally birdie that one the other day, actually.
Nice.
With the forehand, so there's that. And then hole 6, you got another 300 foot. This is just hole 4 with a lot more OB and a lot more trees, basically.
Yeah, this is a tough hole, playing the creek on the left and the trees down the middle, about around the pin. My approach is usually almost straight at it with a fairway, and if you get into the trees, you might get through or you might knock down, but once you get to the trees, you should at least have a putt, possibly
Like right
for
there. I
birdie,
think
and you'll
Nick
get up
did-
and down for par.
Nick did essentially what you want to do there.
Yeah,
I don't know
see
if you
that.
got up there as far as you'd like to in an ideal world, but kind of full flight right down the middle is what you're looking for. I was throwing a leopard right there too. I changed my game a lot apparently, like a couple of days after we shot this. So I'm usually going T-bird there now on that one and actually getting it up there. But either way, those trees aren't as hard as they make it look like, unless you're me
Yeah.
and you do that. But because I was gonna say, I think this is actually an easier hole objectively, but it's definitely plays with your mind a lot.
Yeah, you can just find yourselves in certain spots. If you
Right.
don't make it to the trees, especially if you're on the left near the creek, or if you go in the creek early, you're
Right.
gonna have trouble getting up and down from any
It's a
spot.
momentum killer too. You go in
Yeah,
the creek on here, you don't really finish out well on 7, 8, and 9.
true.
There you go, splashing out of the basket again.
Yeah, I think on my first 6 holes here, I either hit the basket or hit the putt on
Yeah.
for birdie.
Yeah, you could be
Unfortunately, he's
6
only
under right
able.
here.
Yeah, unfortunately, able to only convert on 3 of those, but I'm happy with it at this point.
Right. Yeah, that's super understandable. But yeah, I just think that's such a momentum killer there too, because these last 3 holes too are kind of the same way, where it's like you're probably there's a good chance you'll screw one of them up. At least that's the
Right.
way I find it.
Well, they're just kind of trapped. If you don't have a
Mhm.
nice driver, you're gonna have to really put a nice upshot in
Right.
if you want to get up and down for par.
Especially on this guy right here. Especially on this guy during the summer
Yeah,
when it's grown in. I mean, you've got all sorts of green stuff on top of that pavilion looking whatever that is. I don't even know what you call that thing.
I think they call it a pergola. At least that's
Pergola?
what. Yeah, I think that's what our good friend Ryan Kilker
Wow. Okay.
has called it to me. But
Well, Ryan Kilker seems to know what he's talking about when it comes to things, so there's that. But another thing I always mention to people about this hole, because there's a lot of stuff in the way. I mean, there's that infamous V split tree right at the front that people are normally aiming for, and there's the pergola, and there's all sorts of things. But I've seen just about every type of shot get parked on this hole too, so it's
yeah,
definitely
right.
not impossible for anyone. I've seen standard backhands, backhand rollers, forehands, and tomahawks parked.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen them all, but it's just no matter where you go, little room for error. And
Right.
it's a real bonus bird if you can pick it up. It means you hit your shot.
Right.
You don't get lucky. You don't throw a bad shot and get lucky on hole 7 for
Yeah,
sure.
that's true. That's true. I usually aim for something like that tree that's split right next to me there. I usually aim for that and hope to not hit it, hope to not be insanely accurate. Last night we were actually playing this course and I went right through that split there and landed by the basket. And I was like, yeah, I meant to do that. Of course I didn't mean to do that, but I've also ended up out in the middle of that field before. So a lot of things can happen.
There I am putting a jump putt long. Got about 25-foot comebacker, but
You did not
able to knock it in.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't hit the basket on the birdie, but I made the comebacker. Happy with that.
And we go par frame on that one.
Par frame.
Which takes us right into hole 8, which is just a long par 3. I don't think there's too much more to really say about it.
Yeah, I would have to
There's-
say this is probably the toughest hole on the course, as I show with my absolutely horrendous drive. Unintentional roller puts me way up in the woods.
Now, what was that disc?
That's my Red Star Wraith. It's a
Sure.
lighter weight Wraith. I'm able to turn it over a little better. And what I go actually on this hole for is a forehand that's going to turn over
Mm-hmm.
for most of its flight and then finish kind of straight. And my hope is that it finishes to the right of that tree out there. The tree
Yes.
is about 350 feet from the pin, and you really have to drive to almost pin high if you want a birdie putt here.
And I got
Due to that
robbed by
tree.
those leaves.
Yeah, that
on
was a
that one.
tough early hit.
That came straight down. Now, this is another one, too, while you're talking about it. After I got those, that Zeus and that Wraith, I've been forehanding this one a lot. too,
Gotcha.
because I have a little bit more distance on my forehand, but also, and this kind of gives you a good example right there, is that you want to be, if you miss on this hole, you miss your line, you want to be way out to the right.
Right, exactly.
You don't want to be to the left.
Here I am to the left, attempting a roller with my pig, and man, I just missed that line. And this hole really is where my pretty solid round kind of took a turn.
Yeah, this ate us alive a little bit on this one. Not Nick, though. Nick just kind
Yeah,
of...
Nick, a beautiful forehand upshot, putting him about 5
Nick's
feet
just
away, and He throws the
like
R Pro Pig as well, and
nice.
really sets it in there.
Nice. I thought about getting one of those, but I still haven't come around to it. The other thing is that I have 3 putters that I almost don't favor either one of them more than another.
Hmm.
I'm using AVRs a lot for straight putts, Judges for longer putts, and the Luna for everything else.
Okay.
But it's almost like I don't know if I want to narrow that down or if I want to keep going with that path.
I'd probably
Like,
narrow it down just for feel wise. I putt with only
yeah,
one putter, and I even often throw with the same putter. Here I am with my par save attempt
right.
from about 45 feet out. Jump putt couldn't fall.
Right over. Are you over the basket a lot on these, or long a lot on these jump putts?
I mean, I take those jump putts with the expectation that I'll land within 25 feet and hopefully be able to make the comebacker as I do
Right,
there
right.
and as I did before. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I can't. You can't win at both. You can't give it a really good
Right.
run and expect to be under the basket. So, especially a par save like that, I'm gonna try to knock it in rather
Mhm.
than.
Oh, for sure too. Well, something else I was gonna say I've learned since I started playing pretty recently too, is like I was hitting the basket a lot when I missed putts. It was the basket, and then
Hmm.
what I eventually had to figure out is that you've gotta commit to it and you've got to get aggressive, and it's a lot better to go over the top or long than it is to wind up short. It just
True.
feels less stupid.
Here I am again, misfiring my wraith. Overcorrected from the hole before. The shot before, you saw Nick take his pro wraith, nice flip up
Mhm.
backhand to about 300 feet. And here's you. What are you throwing here?
I'm throwing the Avenger SS as I do, and probably putting it out. I usually put that in the exact same spot every time on this hole. I was over to the right a little bit more than usual there, but for the distance. Now, this one I haven't switched to a forehand yet on, mostly because I could.
Yeah,
It's just, I think if I threw a forehand on this hole, it would go farther, but it would also go to the right more,
right.
which would put me more in that pine tree up by. And that was probably one of the best drives I've thrown. It wasn't even a drive per se, but that
That was
upshot
a nice
there
upshot. Yeah.
just kind of went straight.
Yeah,
But
I favor a forehand on this hole because I like my forehand for distance, and also at this hole, it's a tough approach to the green, and
yes,
I find the forehand approach from a little off to the right to be the most accurate way. Now here, I
what
failed a forehand twice.
what is that shot you're throwing right there? What do you call that?
Thumber
A
roller.
thumber roller? Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I've been calling it for people because it's not really the same grip as a thumber per se, but
Hmm.
like,
Yeah, I take that. That's my really get out of jail. And here I am
this is
trying to
for
save
par
par
right here.
again. And also, Nick's in a good
Nick's in a
position to
birdie
birdie,
position,
so
so this means something right
yeah,
here.
I'm definitely thinking here, got to knock this in. Don't want to lose to my younger
Yeah, you
brother.
definitely changed your stance around enough times and
Yeah.
marked the disc, and you were you put a lot of work into this shot right here. So
Yeah, I kind of like this type of shot. It's
I know
not
you do.
super far away,
Yeah, I don't know. You're outside
just
the
outside
circle
the
there,
circle, and I
and
knock
then
it
you
in.
nail that one. So you're getting that too. I see you make a lot of those. I really
Yeah,
do.
I think it just works with my putting and being able to throw my body at it a little bit.
And then we got so excited about you making that putt that we just totally forgot to film me and Nick's putts. So,
Nice.
but Nick did end up birdieing the hole, so we decided to loop back around to hole 1 and do a quick playoff between Paul and Nick, who both went 2 under on the actual round. I went 3 over, which is a little bit high for me at this point, but what are you gonna do? You're recording stuff at 9 in the morning. You're in a hurry. You got people running around the park asking you stupid questions about disc golf.
Yeah, but happy to teach people about the sport and
For
hopefully
sure,
get
yeah,
people
no.
involved, you know. Yeah, here on the playoff, Nick once again turn over the rock 3.
Yeah,
Tough
what is he
jump putt.
doing today? I would have loved to
Nick
see him make that.
Nick just wasn't quite on, I think, and he picked
Yeah,
it up as the round went on, but there I am. Quick 15-footer knock in for the little playoff
awesome.
win.
That is it. And then Nick with the formality,
Yep.
finishing 2 under on 10. You finishing 3 under on
Right.
10. So that does it for the whole video. I mean, that was fun to watch. That was really fun to do. And it
Yeah.
was really a lot of work to put together. So if you enjoyed it, please let us know in whatever way, shape, or form through the likes and the comments and all
Absolutely.
that type of stuff. I don't even know if I'm posting this on Facebook or YouTube or both or whatever, but do all that type of stuff. And I want to take a second to give a couple of thanks to a few people. First of all, to Gerard, who I already mentioned a couple of times, who comes out and films for us a lot during these. He's awesome and really helped us out with the catch cam on that. That was one of the first videos I've done with catch cam, like all the way through. So that was really awesome. Thanks to Paul and Nick, of course, for coming out and playing that morning.
Pleasure, man.
And just as well, I also want to thank Evan Talcott for designing that course and building the course for his Eagle Scout project. I mean, that was the whole deal for that. So that's really awesome too. And of course, anybody else that's involved in kind of Tunkhannock Disc Golf, the community that's been built around it is insane.
Yeah, it's been an incredible jump for the sport here in Tunkhannock. Also, I think it would be important to shout out Ryan Kilker, who was integral in starting up the league around here. And now, if you're watching this video and you're anywhere in the Tunkhannock area, Monday nights, 5:30, we got dubs.
As of right now, that time might change or stuff. But if you're on Facebook, just find Tunkhannock Disc Golf.
Yeah, Tunkhannock Disc Golf. That's the best way to stay connected.
Stay updated, so.
Monthly tournaments and everything. Yeah, if you're anywhere in the area, come down and check us out. We got a great 9-hole course down here. One of the most challenging 9 holes in the area, and hope to see you there. Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. All right, that's all we got, folks.